Good day. Today we will be discussing the concept paper of our macroeconomics. So our title is the influence of central government debt to the GDP per capita in Eurozone region. So, so the first is the introduction. So our variables are the central government debt, in which it deals with the total amount of direct government fixed term contractual obligations to others that are outstanding on a certain day. And next is the GDP per capita, which is also our variable, and also a little run through about the background of our study is that the locale of the study will focus in the Eurozone region, which is the countries that use Euro as their currency. So the Eurozone region consists of 20 countries. However, because of the limited data we have, we only cover 19 countries, except the Netherlands, of course. So here are the list of the countries. We have Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Cyprus, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, except the Netherlands, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Spain. So the background of the study, the research gap is the Eurozone area started to cite an economic uncertainty that was triggered by high levels of public debt due to the variety of factors, including the excessive government spending. Second is the low revenue by several governments under the EU. Third one is the lax lending habits by banks. And lastly is the poor confidence in European business and economy that leads to drop in capital inflows from the foreign investors. So also another gap that we see is that Greece alone is the major contributors to the crisis in the Eurozone region after adopting the euro in 2011. The Greek government was backed up with excessive borrowing that led to deficit in government's budget. The situation even worsened around 2009 when Greece's fiscal deficit went higher until hitting to 15.6% of GDP in 2011. So, the Eurozone region evidently experienced this crisis. If this crisis breaks off the euro, then it will be on the verge of collapse, resulting to lots of consequences. A fall to one country will have a spontaneous effect on others. Our study will examine the trends in government debt and GDP per capita as it changes over time. Additionally, the researcher will also ascertain the relationship between these two variables.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Ronelyn Luay Cabulong, and I will be discussing the objective of the study. The study aims to determine the influence of central government debt to GDP per capita in Eurozone region in the period of 2006 to 2022. This study sought to achieve the following objectives. First is examine the trends in central government debt per capita over time. Second is to ascertain the relationship between central government debt and GDP per capita.
Good day, everyone. I am Elaine Jane Ambayani, and I will be the one to discuss the theoretical framework. So the theoretical framework shows a generally negative relationship between GDP growth and public debt. Diamond 1965 finds that both external and internal debt reduce savings and capital stock due to the taxes needed for interest payments, with the internal debt potentially causing greater harm by replacing private investment. Adam and Bevan 2005 highlight that high debt worsens the effect of deficits, limiting growth, but moderate debt used for productive investments can boost growth up to a threshold. And as Chua 2000 emphasizes this nonlinear effect, where debt initially supports growth but becomes harmful when excessive due to rising interest costs and reduced private investment. Efficient debt management is key to balancing growth and fiscal stability. Good day everyone, my name is Lorraine Ambayani. My assigned part is about conceptual framework. This study would determine the influence of central government debt on GDP per capita in Eurozone region. We used IPO model, which is input, process, and output. The first thing refers to the input, which includes evaluating the correlation between central government debt and GDP per capita in Eurozone countries, examining the trends in central government debt to GDP per capita over time, providing insights on how changes in debt levels may affect GDP per capita in the future. Next is the construction and validation of data, analysis, and last, the output of the study is to assess the central government debt to GDP per capita in the Eurozone region. For Chapter 2, the research design of our paper. So, this study employs a quantitative research design examining the relationship between central government debt and GDP per capita in the Eurozone region. Quantitative research involves collecting and analyzing numerical data to evaluate relationships between variables, identify trends, and interpret findings for broader populations. The design is ideal for accurately determining the statistical connection between central government debt and GDP per capita, as it enables a reliable, data-driven analysis of the economic impact of debt in a measurable way.
So in the data and data sources part, to determine the influence of the central government debt to GDP per capita in the Eurozone region, the researcher will utilize a secondary data on the central government debt and GDP per capita that was compiled statistically by the International Monetary Fund under 2024 data, the recent data that they had. So the World Bank Group provides the formulation of the two variables wherein the central government debt is calculated by subtracting the gross amount of government liabilities from the total amount of government held equities and financial derivatives. Meanwhile, in calculating the GDP per capita, it is calculated by dividing the total gross value contributed by all resident producers in the economy by the mid-year population plus the any product taxes and that were subsidized that are included in the output variable. So in the data that we have when it comes to the coverage, the coverage where in the country that we cover for our study is we have the Eurozone region that basically consists of 20 countries. However, the data from the International Monetary Fund lacks data from the Netherlands, lacks data on the country Netherlands. So basically, the countries that we will be what that we will be covering for this study is the Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Cyprus, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Spain. Nonetheless, the study is limited to only 19 countries, since the Netherlands has no central government that data. So majority of the countries covers data ranging from 2006 to 2022 data.
Next is the statistical treatment. This section classifies the statistical treatment that will be used in the study to achieve its objective. This statistical treatment will be using mean and standard deviation to analyze the given data to explain the findings on influence of central government debt, GDP per capita in the Eurozone region. So the mean or the average to measure the central government debt to GDP per capita ratios for each country. So this is the formula where individual observations over total number of observations. For the standard deviation, to measure the dispersion or variability around the mean, where the population standard deviation, the size of the population, each value from the population, and the population mean. Another statistical treatment that will be used is the vector autoregression or VAR. This approach is used for multivariate time series. The structure of each variable is a linear function of past lags of itself and past lags of the other variable. VAR accounts for the interdependencies between government debt and GDP per capita, allowing the researchers to model its dynamic relationships. Additionally, VAR captures the lagged effects of government debt on GDP per capita, providing insights into the timing and direction of causal relationship.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Renelyn Luay Cabulong, and I will be discussing the econometric model. Y is equals to beta note plus b sub 1 x sub 1 plus error term. Y is the GDP per capita equals beta note plus b sub 1 x sub 1 is the central government debt plus error term, where Y is equals to GDP per capita, X sub 1 is equals to central government debt, E is error term.